It's Jasmine, Nicole. Welcome and welcome back to Weight with Jazz, a safe space to discuss all things weight related and a little bit of my life too. Good morning, y'all. Let's talk about these layoffs. It is a massive thing happening right now, okay? In between the private sector and the public sector. Federal government layoffs, Doge layoffs is what they are categorized as. And then we have private sector layoffs among many technology companies. Another one coming forward, Starbucks. Y'all, this is real. This economy is sinking. I understand that, layoffs are inevitable. Layoffs do have to occur. Companies, corporations, organizations have to scale down. I hate to say this type of terminology, but trim the fat. Based off of a quarter analysis, the review of revenues have broke even. Were there marginal revenue? Are there programs that really are lacking luster and that's really draining the funds of the organization or the corporation? Is it really essential? That's pretty much the concept behind Doge layoffs, and even the concept behind private sector layoffs. At the end of the day, it's still about money, about quarterly sales. And Starbucks is to lay off 1,100 corporate workers as a result of sales sag. So the decline of sales over a quarterly period. I would say that probably has something to do with the lack of consumers really being out and about, walking into these businesses to purchase drinks and foods for breakfast, for lunch, as a result of being at work. Because a lot of people have become remote workers, either through the public sector, city, state, federal, government positions, or through the private sector. That drastically affects the businesses, the brick and mortar businesses. They are losing business, which is why they are shutting down. People are filing bankruptcy. They can't continue to let their business be open because they don't have the funds to sustain it. You have nothing coming in. You're just putting your money and your savings into the business, but you're not seeing a return because you don't have adequate customers. This is what we're going through. Really, essentially, all the parts work together. People working and business owners. Business owners need people who are employed or self-employed, that's fine, who is going to be purchasers of a product or service of theirs. That's how this thing continues to go, to move. And we continue to progress as a progressive economy. But we become a sag economy when a slew of layoffs occur. And it's not a guarantee that people are going to be able to bounce back. Those who are laid off or terminated or resigned from federal positions or private sector positions, it may not be easy for them to bounce back depending on age. All these things that shouldn't be a factor, but depending on age, experience, accreditation, all the things, some will, some may not. And the ones that do bounce back are bringing a major competitive edge into whatever market they're going into. If they're coming from federal government, state, city, or whatnot, they're going into the private sector. They're going to be a force to be reckoned with when it comes to competition because they are extremely accredited with experience, knowledge, practicality, all the things. So it makes it harder for the folks who trying to land regular jobs, start a profession, You got to deal with the competitive market that's coming in to challenge because they trying to take care of their mortgages, okay, their side businesses, their other assets, okay. They got to keep afloat their personnel economy. So they looking for comparable salary to what they were receiving, whether they were in a private sector or public, wherever they were. This is discouraging. I didn't even get into Doge. I'm about to get into the number of Doge layoffs. I'm sure a number of these individuals may have been GLP-1 patients, possibly. Could be. Now, with this major cut into their income, if they were able to afford the medication, I don't know if it was covered with insurance or not, some may be self-payers dealing with a cut in income that cuts into the GLP-1 medication, causing another area of strain. Y'all, this is not good. Let's get to Doge layoffs. As of February 22nd, 2025, approximately 30,000 United States federal service workers have been laid off since the state of the second presidency of Donald Trump under the Department of Government Efficiency, Doge. That's what that stands for. Department of Government Efficiency. So these layoffs are in effect for bureaucratic efficiency to restabilize the government in regard to essential programs rather than non-essential. Scale off unnecessary funds. President is making a lot of moves here. This one is majoring and putting Elon Musk on the front as a mascot. I don't know what type of offense that gives, to be honest with you. I mean, Elon Musk was just out there on a press conference holding a chainsaw as representation and symbolism of pretty much chopping bureaucracy. Scaling it off, that's what this means. That's the symbolism. What is going on here? What message are we really sending, folks? How do you expect the American people to feel on both sides, right and left? Right-wing folks are feeling some type of way as well. Left-wing folks are feeling some type of way. Some are in agreement with right-wing. Some are not. But I just think the way it's being presented is a bit abrupt. It can be a little bit more compassionate, in my opinion. These are people's livelihoods. People have uprooted their lives to take on these professional positions for federal government. You know how difficult it is to get into the federal government through USA Jobs? I know I have a USA Job profile. Extensive. It's very meticulous. My mother worked for the federal government 20 plus years. She retired. Let me tell you right now, she trained me on the way you have to have your resume encrypted. I'm telling you, the way it has to be set up, verbiage wise, bump AI. Before AI was even involved, you had to set your resume up a certain way on USA Jobs, or you won't even make it past the first phase. Selection, you got to get to the second phase. Honey, I done took assessments, all of that. It's still difficult to get selected after that final process. My mother mastered it, though. I tell you, whew, that woman is long-winded on paper. But it matters. I'm telling you, her resume, doggone scale, almost 6 pages, because you got to be completely in depth and literal and articulate and know the language. Child, in every position that you had within the agency or other agencies within the federal government. Child, listen, my family is federal government all the way down. My father is a 27-year military veteran. My mom, 20 plus year federal government employee. Many agencies, but I'm not going to list the main one. One is a defense agency. Not gonna list them though. So I'm kind of savvy and familiar with all this. I just didn't land in the federal government. I'm in the lower level government, but I still appreciate my government position that pays well. I'm grateful. We all going through struggle here, pinching pennies, but I'm grateful to have it. I'm grateful to have it. Um, there was a point in which I was remote working as a result of COVID-19. I think many of us had to entertain that. Uh, but then pretty much end up going back into the office. But I was just able to go back into the office so I can be able to really adequately do what I need to do in regards to the legal work that I do and be able to be on board and go over things, review it right then and there. Not necessarily have to go schedule Zoom calls, conference calls, or whatnot. I just need to be able to go knock on the door of your office. Yes, God. Let's consult. But I think really too, that's also the reason behind bringing people back to work, to be honest with you, for more direct engagement and more productivity. Yes, you can be productive working from home. It's amazing. But also, the powers that be believe that working from home has kind of scaled into an extreme level of partial unproductivity. I'm not saying folks that was working from home weren't working, because people work hard from home. Let's not get that twisted. It's because you're not in a full dress attire doesn't mean that you're not getting your work done. You're not getting reports done. You're not completing Excel sheets. You're not chiming into Zoom calls random. You're not doing all the things that you would have done in the office, just not sitting at your desk in a cubicle or sitting in your office, right? You're still getting the things done. But in today's world, we still want to keep the brick and mortar concept in line. You don't want to make everything virtual because that hurts the economy. You can't scale everything to be virtual only, e-commerce only, digital marketing products only. We have to have brick and mortar in place. That's nostalgia. That's a part of capitalism, a part of consumerism. Just overall, it's overall engagement from one person to another. We lack that when we close ourselves indoors of our homes. There's no engagement. The powers that be with you being in an office more productive than being out at office at home, because there's more opportunity for distraction when you're at home versus being in the office. At home, we have all the things that can distract us. We got our kids if they're not in school or we're not, you know what I mean? We have our own mindsets. Yes, we stay focused and tried and true to our task, but let's be real. Working from home is lenient, a sense of lenient laziness. Not being lazy, but gives you a sense of leniency to be a little bit lazy, just a little bit. That's what the powers that be don't want. Gives you the opportunity to do other things aside from your job, but still get your job done. The powers that be don't want that. They're looking at that. They can't really measure if you are, they can measure if you're locked in, but only to an extent. What are you doing? They can't measure your movements. They don't know when you got up from your desk or you just logged in and it's just there and you're not around, which is what people are doing, unfortunately. Some people make it bad for others. Some people do take advantage of work from home and are not as productive as they should. And it makes it worse for other people who really follow the rules to work from home. But I mean, even if all the rules are followed, I mean, it's understandable why powers that be want people to come back into the office for more economic stimulant growth and production. That's just what it is. I mean, we can hate it. It is what it is. I personally don't find a problem with it. I like going to work. I like getting up and go to work. Now, it's nothing wrong. You have like maybe 1 or 2 days remote work, even within my organization. If I feel like I want to request the remote work, I have the option too, upon supervisor approval. So the option is not removed. It's just, it's not a first go-to. There is a requirement to do your hours at work. Given certain circumstances, you can request to work from home and it can be approved. But other than that, I like the hustle and bustle. This is what I wanted my entire life. I've dreamed about this since I was a teenager. I was always wondering, I'm like, I can't wait to get up in the morning, do all the things, get on a train, or whatever, or commute to work, to be in the mix of professionals who are all like-minded on their way en route to their professional destinations to start their workday. And I think that's the mindset we still need to be encouraged to have. It's okay to get up and go to work. Yes, sometimes we have to make a little bit more accommodations to continue to sustain our healthy systems of practice, right? Because a lot of us do work out in the morning, and you have to just put a little bit more, I guess, planning in place. Get my workout out the way. Because I prefer not to work out in the afternoon after work. I'd rather have the rest of my day to me. So I will make the sacrifice and get up at 3:30. Because I know I have to walk my dog. I have to get myself together in the morning before my workout, come back in from walking the dog, then hop on my stepper or get on the treadmill, whatever I choose to do. Most of the time now is leaning towards stepper. Convenience. I'm not in the gym right now. I ain't been in the gym in about a week or so. Just been doing my in-home workouts. And it's been working. But I do it in the morning because it works for me. And I have to time it, I have to be timed. I complete my workout, my weight training or whatnot, then I'm off into the shower. Ready to get dressed. I lay my stuff out the night before most of the time. So it's really not a headache for me figuring out what I'm going to wear. Pretty simplistic. I'm really a minimalist. It's what I really take pride in. I like to try to keep it simple. So getting myself together in the morning, I try not to make it take a whole tidbit. So I'm able to be out at a certain time. So I'm on the train. I'm on a 7:04 train. Yes, God. Timed. But I'm conditioned into time. I'm conditioned into this system because I forced myself to be conditioned into it. Started the routine. And now I'm used to it. I have the energy in the morning. Take my supplements, which supplement me well, really. Gives me the energy, my vitamins, all the things to start my day, start my workout. So, which is powering me right now. I mean to go off on that tangent, but those are the things that we have to consider when we're going back into the office, how we're going to prioritize our healthy systems of practice to fit into going back into the office. It can be a headache, but it can be done. And if we can feel good about it. As far as the layoffs, I believe I don't want more to come, but I don't see an end date with Doge. Is there an end date on the federal layoffs? I hope so. Because at this point, I'm like, is the scaling done? Is the scaling done now? Scaling down. Because people are struggling. Now it's trickling over into the private sector, y'all. Baristas, Starbucks. I mean, come on. You know how much revenue Starbucks accumulates? Just a day, let alone an hour, when business is viable in the areas the location is placed. Definitely like in the city. Make buku money. But I'm going to tell you right now, the Starbucks around my employment, it looks like it's holding on by a thread. It looks like it's holding on by a thread, y'all, because it's just not enough people coming in. And even those who are at work, people are broke, y'all. People are broke. People are broke. People are broke. People ain't shopping. People ain't shopping. Okay? People used to be shopping. They ain't shopping anymore. So not even just people coming back to work being the cure for economic stimulus. It's really deeper than that. Cost of living, salary increases. This is what it's boiled down to. People want to be paid more. People want to be paid more to do less. Even there are people that want to be paid more to work from home. Something that you really can't adequately measure as far as physicality, if the person is actually at their desk. You understand? Like, so, I mean, I just understand the schools of thought that goes into these decisions that are occurring around our nation. Not saying 100% in agreement, but I understand the conceptual thinking process of it. Trying to get a nation back on track. It's just, there's going to be some things that occur that people are not going to be fond of, but has to occur. And I know layoffs do occur when new administration comes into any organization, corporations, people let go old administrative staff and bring in their, and then programs are analyzed and proposals to reduce non-essential programs are introduced. All of these things occur in the world of bureaucracy. We got to hold on, stand tried and true. Keep your job. All this run of the muck rhetoric. Quit your job, quit your 9 to 5. Don't quit your 9 to 5. If you got a solid job, keep it. The market is not as friendly, honey. It's going to be harder for you. If you've been at a job for 10 plus years, keep your job. Especially if you don't have as much accreditation behind you. It's only through your position. You don't have exterior accreditation too. Keep your gig. Hold on. Know when to hold on to something good. And be grateful that you still got it. Because people are losing jobs, being laid off, being terminated. Here today, gone tomorrow. So be grateful, y'all. And hold on to your job. I'm going to see you in the next video. Be real.